Hello, welcome back to part two of creating depth through linear perspective and shading. So, the picture is pretty much laid out, the composition has been developed, and really at this point, what I'm doing is just getting a lot more of that graphite throughout the picture. Don't be afraid to get a little carried away during this step uh, because it'll allow you to do some of this drawing in reverse, which you can see right now. I'm using the pencil eraser to hit each and every object or even parts of an object uh, in the right spot according to the light source. So my light source again is right above the cabin there. So all these trees and posts and things are getting hit on the upper left side with the light. Right there is where I'm erasing out that light source. And even here I'm hitting the edges of the clouds as that sunlight hits those puffy white clouds. And even handling the clouds almost like a solid object by adding some shadows on the left side or the right side and the bottoms. So in the process of adding more value and contrast, and also keeping in mind the direction of the light and where the shadows and highlights might occur, I'm also adding detail. So you might do some outlining here, you might add some texture, but anything that allows us to refine and crisp up the parts of the drawing that maybe you hadn't got so far on or that were never really addressed. Again, uh, try getting in at least a little bit of an indication of cast shadows, which really makes some of the objects feel grounded. Figure out that light source and the angle of the light and try to get in a little bit of a shadow there coming off those objects. Again, here I'm adding some reflective glares in the windows and some more detail, even going ahead and adding some siding onto the house and an indication of some shingles on the roof through a crosshatch. Don't forget the little things too, like even the rocks in the back. At this point, your picture is never done. And what I'd like you to do is maybe try to put a little life into the picture. So here I've decided to add a little guy sitting on a rocking chair on the front porch. Um, wasn't planned in the original composition, but anytime you add some life to your picture, it tends to tell a little bit more of a story. So hitting him with the same idea with the shadows and the highlights, checking over the work and adding a little bit more in some places that maybe felt a little incomplete or unfinished. And finally, some more size variation through the inclusion of some birds in the sky. Then throwing a small one in there in the upper right. And then finally some last drawing in reverse and putting in some sun rays. And there we have it, the final work of art. Have fun with this. I can't wait to see your work.